Poor Princess Dory was so afraid and overwhelmed by her nightmare that she couldn't even remember what it was about. She felt so scared and frightened, but when she saw Prince Gill Moorish standing in the doorway, she felt a bit better. "It's okay," he said gently. "You don't have to remember your nightmare if you don't want to." Princess Dory nodded and sniffled back her tears, trying to compose herself. She was so scared and overwhelmed that she couldn't think straight. Poor Princess Dory couldn't find the words to express how afraid and overwhelmed she was after her nightmare. She felt so lost and alone, but when she saw Prince Gill Moorish standing in the doorway, she felt a bit better. "I don't know how to describe it," she finally said. "I just feel so scared and overwhelmed." Prince Gill nodded and smiled at her, understanding exactly what she was going through. "It's okay," he said gently. "You don't have to worry about anything right now." Oh no, poor Princess Dory was so frightened and overwhelmed by her nightmare that she couldn't find Prince Gill or anyone else in the darkness. She was so scared and alone that she felt like she would never be able to escape from the fear and dread. But when she saw Prince Gill standing in the doorway, she felt a little bit better. "It's okay," he said gently. "You're safe now." Princess Dory nodded and wiped away her tears, feeling a bit comforted by his presence. Oh no, poor Princess Dory was so frightened and overwhelmed by her nightmare that she was crying so much and couldn't stop. She felt so scared and helpless. But when she saw Prince Gill Moorish standing in the doorway, she felt a bit better. "It's okay," he said gently. "It was just a nightmare." But Princess Dory couldn't calm down. She was crying so hard and couldn't stop. Suddenly Zebad, her evil uncle, appeared in front of her. He had found her at last. Oh no. Poor Princess Dory was still so scared and overwhelmed by her nightmare. She was crying so much and couldn't stop. But when she saw Zebad, her evil uncle, standing before her, she felt even more afraid. She was so terrified that she didn't know what to do or say. Suddenly, Zebad reached out his hand and grabbed her by the neck. "It's time for you to die," he shouted. Poor Princess Dory was so scared and overwhelmed by her nightmare that she ran to Prince Gill Moorish and hugged him tightly, crying and shaking. She was so afraid and terrified, but when she saw the kindness and warmth in his eyes, she felt a bit better. He hugged her back gently and wiped away her tears, trying to comfort her. Suddenly, Zebad appeared behind them. He had found them at last.
Talkie, Dream AI, Wonder Kingdom.